Chosen one, I want you to take a deep, honest breath right now and answer this question for yourself. Has there ever been a presence in your life that simply refuses to leave your spirit? I'm not talking about a casual crush or the fleeting excitement of a new acquaintance. This is about a relentless spiritual gravity, an inescapable pull so profound that despite every effort to sever the tie, you find yourself tethered, heart and soul, to a single specific person. You've done all the logical things. You've rationalized the separation. You've sought closure, you've tried to replace the feeling, and you've even knelt in prayer begging for release. But still, the connection persists. That constant echoing voice in your quiet moments, the one that whispers, "This is different," makes you question everything. You start to doubt your own sanity. Is this merely a powerful human attachment? Is it an emotional weakness that you just can't overcome? Or is there something far more sacred at play? Is this a divine intervention? A signal from the Creator that this person's journey is meant to be deeply intertwined with your own? Listen to me, chosen one, God is intentional. He does not weave two souls together just to watch them struggle. When a bond is designed by heaven, it is for a purpose, a mission, and a strategic alignment of destinies. Today, I'm not discussing mere human desire or temporary infatuation. We are going to unveil 5 prophetic signs that serve as heaven's definitive confirmation that a specific individual has been ordained to walk alongside you on your divine path. This message transcends fleeting passion. It is about destiny alignment. If you commit to staying with me through this entire revelation, you will gain access to profound spiritual truths. Truths many spend their entire lives searching for. You will finally understand the mystery of why this singular connection refuses to die, why it occupies your prayers, and why your deepest spirit keeps insisting. The story is not yet complete, but before we dive into the deep end of this revelation, I need you to anchor this truth spiritually. If this message is resonating so deeply that it feels like a spiritual piercing, I need you to hit that like button immediately. If you recognize yourself as part of this chosen remnant, this army of people called to a higher purpose, please ensure you are subscribed right now. Heaven is pouring out clarity, and you cannot afford to miss a single drop. And as a final prophetic act, I want you to comment the number 99 below. Why 99? It symbolizes the spiritual truth that heaven will leave the 99 to pursue the one destined connection, the one that holds the key to your full purpose. Declare your readiness for divine clarity with a 99 now. And let's go deep. What you are about to hear will permanently change how you view this person and your shared history. Chosen one, let me share a crucial spiritual reality often overlooked. The events you categorize as coincidences are, in fact, God's deliberate, quiet choreography. You've genuinely put in the work to move on. You've convinced yourself that the chapter is closed. It's over. I'm free and I'm focused on my future. Yet, with absolute shocking precision, the universe seemingly conspires against your efforts. A casual scroll on social media and their image appears. You visit an entirely new city or establishment and somehow they are there. You wake up from a deep sleep and their name is the first thought in your mind. These are not the chaotic outcomes of chance. They are not random glitches in the system. These are divine appointments, precisely orchestrated by the heavenly realm. When God intends to unite two souls for a specific mission, He doesn't require a dramatic, loud announcement. Instead, He speaks through subtle, inescapable patterns and timings, a sacred choreography of life that may appear random to the eye, but is thunderous and undeniable to your spirit. Do you wonder why, every time you're on the verge of finally letting go, life bends to pull them back into your orbit? The reason is simple, yet profound. Your connection is not merely tethered to emotion. It is tethered to purpose. And unlike feelings, purpose does not simply expire when the emotional intensity wanes. It patiently waits. It strategically aligns. It reactivates only when the divine timing is perfectly right and heaven gives the green light, saying, "Now, here is a deep mystery. God's most significant connections often conceal themselves behind apparent inconvenience or awkwardness. You may cross paths in moments that seem insignificant or clumsy, but in the spiritual realm, those are God's sacred checkpoints. Each unexpected meeting is a confirmation, a test, a gentle but firm reminder that the grand narrative of your shared journey has not reached its conclusion. Chosen one, commit this to memory. God may permit temporary separation to cultivate permanent lessons. He allows the distance to refine your character, but when the right moment arrives, He will strategically bend the paths of life to ensure your destinies intersect again. When this happens, understand that it will not be an accident. It will be an act of divine precision and unfailing timing. Consider the nature of these recurrent meetings. They are never merely casual. The conversations you share feel like a profound exchange of souls, and even the silences between you carry a weighty, spiritual echo from a past you cannot logically explain. It's because your spirits instantly recognize each other beyond the constraints of time and physical space. It's a powerful soul memory reactivated the moment your eyes meet. The universe is not engaging in cruel games with your heart for nostalgia's sake. It is the Holy Spirit recalibrating your focus toward a destiny that heaven is still actively unfolding. A crucial caution: not every intense pull is automatically divine. Discernment is paramount. When the connection is genuinely ordained by God, these encounters will ultimately leave you with a quiet, undeniable peace, even amidst the confusion of unanswered questions. Even when the external circumstances are illogical, your inner spirit will whisper, "There is a deeper meaning here." This deep knowing is precisely why you are here now, listening to this message. The encounters you've been dismissing as coincidence are not random life repetitions. They are prophetic breadcrumbs from heaven, tapping your shoulder and insisting, "Pay attention. The story is in motion." These repetitive crossings are not interruptions to your single life. They are divine rehearsals for a sacred connection that is still in strategic preparation. God is using these moments to train you to recognize His signature in your life's unfolding events. He is aligning your heart to perceive the unseen purpose beneath the visible circumstances. As you absorb this message, you are starting to realize that what you casually brushed off as random happenings were actually prophetic signposts leading you back to a shared assignment. Prepare yourself, because as God prepares a release, He always amplifies the signals. Expect the unexpected. This entire journey was meticulously planned. Chosen one. If you can feel the profound truth of this word stirring deep within your spirit, hold fast to that feeling. Stay with me, because the next prophetic sign will reveal how this person's mere presence functions as a spiritual activator for your divine purpose. Even if they don't utter a single word, their existence in your orbit changes your trajectory. The story is about to reveal its true depth. Listen closely, chosen one, because this second sign moves far beyond surface-level attraction. This is not about the flutter of butterflies, the simple thrill of being seen, or the comfort of admiration. This is about soul ignition. Many people enter your life and make you feel wanted, entertained, or comfortable. But then there are those rare, singular souls who, without conscious effort on their part, ignite a spiritual fire within you that was dormant. When they simply enter a room, the entire atmosphere shifts. Suddenly, your thoughts are clearer. Your prayers feel bolder and more focused, and your heart, which was previously scattered by distractions, realigns with your divine purpose. This isn't emotional neediness or codependency. It's a powerful spiritual activation. Grasp this truth. God does not introduce certain people into your life merely to make you feel comfortable or safe. He sends specific souls to be an alarm clock for your spirit, to remind you of the profound dreams you buried, to reignite the powerful visions you silenced, and to compel you back into alignment with heaven's overarching blueprint for your life. The most remarkable element of this sign is that they do not need to deliver a sermon or a persuasive speech. Their sheer presence is prophetic. Their energy disrupts any stagnation in your life. It powerfully pulls out the intercessor, the warrior, and the visionary that life's disappointments and distractions tried to bury deep within you. Chosen one, have you noticed that when you are near this person, you suddenly become more acutely aware of your true self? Not the limited version the world or your past traumas tried to impose on you, but the version God whispered into existence before you were even born. This is not simple chemistry, which is fleeting and fades with time. This is kingdom alignment. When heaven forges a connection, it rises above mere emotion and penetrates eternal purpose. When God writes your personal story, He never pairs you with someone who will allow you to spiritually settle for less. Instead, He partners you with a soul who... Activation is almost always mutual. It is not a one-sided dynamic. When you are together, both of you experience a palpable divine synergy. Your spirits recognize their complementary nature, and together, you begin to vibrate at a significantly higher spiritual frequency. Your prayers gain weight and authority. Your long-lost dreams regain their wings. Your purpose gathers an unstoppable momentum. Understand that this connection is not about finding someone to magically complete your weaknesses. It is about encountering a soul that perfectly complements your calling. You become two distinct flames that, when united, burn exponentially brighter, not for self-gratification or personal comfort, but for profound kingdom impact. But be warned, this depth of connection may not always feel emotionally safe, as they will challenge you through the power of their purposeful presence. You will feel convicted to reach higher, stirred to confront the areas of your life you've been comfortably avoiding. It is within that sacred discomfort that God performs His greatest work. The person God ordained for you will never lull you into spiritual apathy. They are designed to awaken the parts of you that the enemy desperately hoped you would never discover. They will remind you of the prayers you stopped praying and the profound promises you mistakenly thought were lost forever. Here is the ultimate test for a God-ordained connection. Even in total silence, even without physical touch, their spiritual presence relentlessly sharpens your focus on God. You are not distracted. You are profoundly elevated. You don't feel smaller. You feel as if heaven is exponentially enlarging your territory. Perhaps, just perhaps, this is the very reason the enemy has fought so intensely to separate you. He knew that if the two of you ever stood side by side, perfectly aligned in your shared purpose, you would become an unstoppable force in the spiritual realm. Chosen one, you aren't just feeling strong emotions. You are sensing a divine frequency. Their presence acts as a powerful mirror, reflecting back to you the undeniable warrior, the leader, the intercessor that God has commissioned you to be. And this is only the beginning. Chosen one, this is a truth you must engrave on your heart. Most connections are incredibly fragile. They shatter under the pressure of distance. They fade away with periods of silence, simple misunderstanding, a few weeks apart, and it feels as though you were never truly known. Yet when God is the divine author of a bond, it is built upon a foundation that no amount of time, no depth of silence, and no physical distance can ever destroy. In human relationships, there is a relentless need for constant validation. Text me back. Prove you care. Don't let too much time pass or I'll move on. But spiritual connections operate in an entirely different dimension. They do not suffocate under absence. They mature in it. God often strategically allows seasons of separation, not to terminate the connection, but specifically to refine it. He does not unite souls for merely temporary companionship. He forges bonds that are designed to withstand the brutal test of storms, the scorching heat of emotional deserts, and even the coldest, longest silences. Perhaps you have personally experienced this. Months, even years pass. You enter a season where logic tries to scream at you. It's completely over. But then, without warning or conscious effort, a memory is triggered. Their name resurfaces. A dream disrupts your peace. This is not mere nostalgia, nor is your heart simply being weak. It is your spirit responding to a covenant bond that heaven never permitted to be severed. Understand this. Chosen one, when God meticulously writes your story, He is never threatened by distance, and He never panics in the silence. He knows with absolute certainty that what has been powerfully built in the spirit realm cannot be undone by the limitations of time or space. The world teaches you that love will inevitably fade when you are apart. But in the kingdom, profound love matures in the wilderness. It learns to anchor its roots deep beneath the surface of circumstances. It learns to breathe and strengthen itself in seasons of pruning. And when the divinely appointed time finally arrives, what successfully survived the intense distance becomes absolutely unshakable. You must fully internalize the truth that this bond is not a human obsession. It is a spiritual tether. It is a sacred covenant that vastly transcends what your natural eyes are capable of perceiving. Even when you both followed separate paths, even when mistakes were made, even when hurtful words were exchanged, there is a fundamental, deeper reality that remains perfectly untouched. This is not simple human attachment. It is the preservation of a divine assignment. Chosen one, you are being trained to recognize the profound power of spiritual resilience. God allows the pause to cultivate in you genuine patience. He allows the silence to train you to hear his faint whispers. He permits the distance to unequivocally show you that physical proximity is not the true proof of purpose. Obedience is. Think critically about this. Many connections crumble at the very first sign of discomfort, yet the one God has chosen for you, even in a complete absence of words, your spirits remain in continuous dialogue. Even when you do not see each other, your individual missions are still powerfully intertwining in the unseen realm. The most important revelation here is this. If God has permitted this specific connection to survive every single thing that was designed to break it, the agonizing time apart, the misunderstandings, the emotional deserts, it is an undeniable sign that the joint assignment is still powerfully alive. This bond was never created for your personal convenience. It was forged for kingdom impact. Chosen one, this is not a sign of weakness or an indication that you are hopelessly stuck in the past. This is an undeniable sign that you are tethered to a future that heaven has already mapped out. When a spiritual bond refuses to die, even when all logic dictates that it should have, that is when you know this is not an emotional dependency. This is prophetic endurance. Here is the warning you need. The enemy is acutely aware of this truth. That's why he will strategically use time to plant seeds of doubt and employ silence to make you question the bond. But remember, God never needs noise to perform his greatest work. He works most profoundly in the quiet. He moves in the unseen, and when the appointed time is at hand, God will powerfully reconnect what he purposefully preserved, not as a mere repeat of the past, but as a rebirth into a higher purpose. Chosen one, here is a game-changing revelation that will fundamentally shift your entire perspective. Not every person who genuinely loves you is fully aligned with your ultimate calling. Some individuals enter your life to comfort your wounds, but the ones God specifically sends enter to aggressively awaken the warrior deep inside of you. You've experienced the connections that distract you. They feel good in the moment and fill emotional voids, but deep down you feel yourself drifting away from your core purpose. Your prayer life softens, your vision becomes blurred, and your spiritual hunger is replaced by temporary, fleeting pleasures. When God ordains a connection, it doesn't numb you, it ignites you. This divine person may not always articulate the words you want to hear, but their spiritual authority acts as a mirror, powerfully reflecting back to you the highest version of yourself that you are called to become. They refuse to settle for your excuses. They do not comfortably accommodate your self-imposed comfort zones. Their presence carries a potent energy that forces your spirit to rise higher. The most fascinating element is that this is not achieved through manipulation or long, demanding speeches. It is a subtle, yet utterly unstoppable force. Being in their orbit naturally recalibrates your focus. Suddenly, you find yourself praying with a deeper conviction. You are dreaming bigger, and you see your assignment with a fresh, undeniable clarity, because their spirit is strategically wired to realign yours with heaven's highest design. This is not chemistry. Chemistry can be easily manufactured and faked with charm or simple attraction. What you are experiencing is covenant activation. It is a divine synergy that transcends mere emotions, powerfully stirring your highest potential. It boldly calls forth the hidden gifts buried within you, and it mercilessly exposes the areas where you have unconsciously settled for less than God's best. Chosen one, you must understand that the one God sends will not always hold your hand through fields of roses. Occasionally they will confront you. Sometimes their presence will cause a deep, spiritual discomfort, not because they are against you, but because they clearly perceive what heaven has deposited inside you, and they absolutely refuse to let you walk beneath your full anointing. Have you ever noticed that when you try to slack off spiritually, This person somehow pulls you back into alignment, not through emotional guilt, but through the sheer weight of their own purposeful presence. Their unwavering passion reignites yours. Their relentless pursuit of their own purpose stirs you out of your complacency. This is not a coincidence. It is a divine design. God pairs you with individuals who are meant to refine you, not simply comfort you. They are not intended to be your comfortable escape. Chosen one, they may not fit the picture of a fairy tale happily ever after, but they are your divine catalyst. And sometimes, the very person God utilizes to activate your calling is not the one who makes you feel safe, but the one who makes you feel undeniably sent, commissioned for a higher work. They are the living reminder of your spiritual DNA. When the world attempts to shrink your vision, they provoke you to spiritual expansion. When the enemy tries to drown you in self-doubt, they powerfully push you to believe again. This person becomes a living mirror, reflecting back to you the version of yourself that God originally envisioned. Stronger, bolder, and relentlessly purpose-driven. Even when distance physically separates you, their influence powerfully lingers. It is as though their voice echoes in your most crucial decisions. Their profound presence sets a spiritual standard, a constant, powerful reminder that you are called for much more. You simply cannot return to small-minded thinking. You cannot go back to shallow prayers because they have awakened a spiritual momentum within you that now refuses to die. Chosen one, do you see the profound difference now? This is not a romantic entanglement. It is a kingdom partnership in the making. Even if their presence in your life is for a specific season, their role is utterly pivotal, because God is using them as a bridge to transport you from who you currently are to who you were always destined to be. And perhaps, just perhaps, that is precisely why the enemy has so fiercely opposed this bond. Not because of how they make you feel, but because of how they make you become. Chosen one, you must grasp this ultimate truth. God never orchestrates profound connections merely to satisfy human emotional desires. He meticulously aligns lives for overarching kingdom impact. Long before you ever fell in love, long before you even learned their name, heaven had already intricately crafted a divine blueprint, a majestic design where your specific gifts, your past wounds, your deepest dreams, and even your most intense past battles would fit together flawlessly, like sacred puzzle pieces. This unique connection was never about filling an empty void in your heart. It was always and exclusively about fulfilling a divine collaborative mission on the earth. The world's wisdom tells you to seek a partner who emotionally completes you. However, heaven is not concerned with your emotional comfort zones. Heaven is profoundly strategic. God is actively seeking powerful partnerships that will literally shake spiritual realms, connections that will give birth to revolutionary movements, and alliances that will serve as weapons of mass spiritual restoration. Here is the stunning mystery. The very areas where you feel the most vulnerable and weak, they possess a matching strength. The dreams you are too afraid to pursue, they carry the courage you lack. The wounds you once thought disqualified you, they carry the balm to heal not only you, but countless others through the strength of your united testimony. This is the meaning of divine interdependence. It is not a dependency born from the fear of being alone. It is a strategic alignment birthed directly from heaven's agenda. When God intertwines two missions, he is not preoccupied with selfies or romantic dinners. He is thinking about legacies, generations of change, spiritual chains breaking, and entire territories being reclaimed for his kingdom. Perhaps you never fully realized it, but that person who continually triggers your spiritual awakening, the one who challenges you to grow, their life holds the profound keys to doors you have been desperately knocking on for years, and the reverse is also profoundly true. Together, you do not simply form a couple. You form a spiritual force field. Your individual testimonies merge. Your battles converge into a single formidable front. Your victories multiply exponentially. This is because the connection was never designed for individual survival. It was always designed for corporate revival. Chosen one, have you ever genuinely wondered why this specific bond feels absolutely irreplaceable? Why no matter who else enters your life, they never carry the same weight or authority? It is because this powerful connection was not born in the shallow waters of human emotion. It was birthed in eternity's archives. It is a sacred story that heaven began writing before time itself commenced. And God is far too intentional and meticulous to allow such a powerful alliance to unfold prematurely. That is precisely why the refining process has been so painstaking. That is why the timing often feels so frustrating and slow. This is not a casual relationship. It is a kingdom alliance that carries profound generational consequences. Every perceived delay, every necessary pruning season, every moment of temporary separation was deliberately permitted to strengthen the foundational pillars of your joint assignment. God did not desire you to unite with unhealed wounds, or to walk together while still being spiritually misaligned. He has been strategically refining you, and He has been refining them, often on parallel paths and in silent seasons, but always moving toward an inevitable, powerful divine collision. Chosen one, this is far more than a simple relationship. It is a spiritual deployment, two specific callings intertwining to unlock dimensions of influence and impact that you could never possibly reach alone. And let me tell you something absolutely critical. The enemy knew this. That is why the warfare against this connection has been so intense. Not because of your personal feelings, but because of your potential impact together. When two people are perfectly aligned by heaven, their union becomes a veritable portal for divine strategies to manifest powerfully on the earth. You don't just love each other. You powerfully amplify each other's anointing. You seamlessly cover each other's spiritual blind spots. You become heaven's designated answer to problems you have not even fully seen yet. Chosen one, when God joins two specific missions, He is thinking far beyond your personal happiness or contentment. He is thinking about the countless lives you will touch, the spiritual chains you will shatter, and the vast territories you will reclaim for the kingdom. That is why this connection feels so sacred. That is why it is irreplaceable. Because it was never about what felt comfortable. It is exclusively about what is eternally consequential. As you finish this message, something profound is stirring inside you, a clear realization, a spiritual remembrance. You are not delusional and you are not being foolishly obsessive. You are spiritually aware. You have been sensing the meticulous orchestration of heaven all along, a kingdom alliance wrapped perfectly in divine timing. Chosen one, this precise moment is not a coincidence. Everything you have absorbed was not just information. It was a prophetic unveiling, a powerful divine reminder that heaven has been actively orchestrating things entirely behind the scenes, even in your moments of deepest doubt and when you couldn't perceive the full picture.